Okay, so we're going to do our friends Michael and Lori Gray. All right. I should have brought my glasses. All right. Okay, so we have Michael and Lori Gray here. And Lori Gray. All right, and okay. And we had Commons Court. Don't worry about their phone number. We're going to get their birth dates in there. And his wife is 11/15/63. Okay. Don't worry, none of this is on the final. Okay, if you're wondering about doing all this one. Okay. We have one working construction, and we have a domestic engineer. All right. They're doing a married filing joint return. And Jessica and Joshua Gray. Okay, this is their daughter. That lived with them all 12 years. 12 months. Okay. No dependent care. We have Joshua Gray. Okay. And he lived with them the whole, lived with them the whole year. Okay. All right. They were New York residents the entire year. We're going to e-file the return. They're going to pay me for the return right now. Okay. Okay, so we have that. All right, so, and we have what, one W-2 there? Okay. So once we have that in there, and this is Mike, and we have his employer. And he's working for Strong Construction. Sounds like a good company. Okay. And we have his income and his withholding and his state withholding. All right, so right now, as it stands, pretty straightforward return, right? as it stands right now, and he did an A last year, so he did not itemize, so we don't have to worry about anything there. So before we do any ACA, what's happened? He's got a refund, doesn't he? Anybody for that? Okay. So now, we've determined on this one that the entire family had no health insurance. So question 1, no, and no, because there's no exemption. And we're going to check the third box for each one of them, because none of them had health insurance. Okay? All right. So that means if you look at your tree on the left, your ACA worksheet came up as red, so there must be something on there. Well, it's asking for any of the child's income. Well, nothing for the kids, so we don't have to worry about that. All right? So if you look at that, based on their income, what'd they do? $975 for the family they paid in 2015. Like I said, that number for 16 could be a couple $1,000s. So they went from having a refund to owing the government money. And worse yet, how old are the kids? Yep, might as well tell them to go get a job to help pay for any health care bills. Okay? Because if they each make $5,000, so there's $10,000 that I put on there. Okay? Doesn't really hurt them because they maxed out the penalty. So see where I put in there the enter the modified on that lower part of the ACA? It says enter the income from the dependents. So if each one of the kids made $5,000 at a job, we've already maxed out the penalty. I have to tell them to go out and get a job and help out. Not going to hurt us. You have to pay tax on your money, but not going to hurt us. Okay? All right. Okay, so everybody sees how it worked on that? Okay. All right. All right. Now, we're going to go to 15.2. Okay? So what I want you to do is take your problem. We're going to leave it exactly the same, because if you notice, everything is exactly the same. But what I want to do, okay, is I am going to go to my ACA worksheet, and they had insurance through the marketplace. So the first question says, did they get insurance from the marketplace? It says yes, the entire family for the entire year. So we don't have to worry about an exemption. We're going to check behind each name that they had insurance through the marketplace for the entire year. And because we checked that, we got rid of their penalty. However, based on their thing, we have an 8962. So if you look at on your tree on the left, you got your little red exclamation point. We're going to go into our 8962. Well, they live in New York, so obviously that's not Alaska or Hawaii. In fact, it was just snowing out, but it did snow in Hawaii. Okay, Alaska, obviously it snows. Actually, it doesn't snow as much in Alaska as it does in Buffalo. Did you know that? It's too cold to snow up there. Okay. So we're going to check our box, and it says our percentage, 243. Okay? All right, so when you see when we check the box, now it calculated our percentage for us. All right? And then it shows that we owe, or we should be able to contribute $380 a month. Now, on page 199, you have a 1095A. Okay? On that 1095A, it shows everybody on there. All right? So what you do is, what are we going to do on question 9?
It's just showing Michael on board.
It's the entire family. Yep, it's family. So they're all on there. All right. Chances are with the kids though, they probably don't show up on there because how old were they?
18 and 19.
Yeah, so one of them's probably on Child Health Plus, and the other one's probably just phasing out of it. So, okay, because they wouldn't show up on an A, they'd show up on a B.
Oh.
But we're just looking at the A for the calculation, okay? So, we have our 1095A, and what are we going to do on question 9? We're going to skip. So we're going to go no, go right to 10, because don't worry about the other part, okay? All right.
Did you add forms to?
For what?
For the 1095, to bring it up on the screen? You have to.
I didn't bring it up on the screen.
Oh, I thought you.
No? I'm on my 8962.
Oh.
I'm just down a little farther. All right, so we have that. We're going to do no. All right, and in this case, we have all the form, okay? So in this one, it's asking us which do we want to do. Do we want to do a line 11 where we have the totals, or we want to do it by month? We're going to do yes, because we have a box that all 12 months are filled. That way, you can see that it lights up red on line 11. We're going to put our information in. So you can go right to the totals at the bottom. So they had 8439.36. So you can see there that column A says that we should go to line 33 on our 1095A and put the amount in. Okay?
Oh, I see.
Okay. The B, 708036. Okay. That is the second lowest cost silver. And we have the other one that we have to put in is column F, which says 5100. Is that right? Am I reading that right? Okay.
It's column C though.
Yep. See what it says at the top of that?
The line already filled out, but it's.
Oh,
Yeah. It says they're 10, just look at the ones that have 1095A. So just look at your 1095As. Okay? On the 8962, you're putting in A, B, and F. And the reason for is if you look up here, it says 1095A, column A, 1095A, column B, 1095A, column C. Okay? These C, D, and E are already calculated. All right? Based on our income. So, they got $5,100 towards their health insurance. What happened down at the bottom? They got too much. But because they're below 400% and they're at a certain level, they only have to pay $1,500 back. So it's another one of those little loopholes. So they basically got $1,000 free towards their health insurance. Because what did it do to their refund? They went from having a refund of $239 to owing $1,200. See what I mean by these things happening with the healthcare? If you're thinking that you're living pretty close, you got your withholding just right, and you go to do your taxes and think, you know what, I'm just going to get a little refund. I had all my money throughout the year in my paycheck. And then you totally forget about what you did with your health insurance, or you did your application wrong. And I say to you, you owe $1,221.
So it's better that they take the penalty for not having that.
Well, in 2015, yes. Yeah. But with the cost of healthcare, if you're going to be self-pay, you fall and break your arm, price tag in New York State, $7,500 to get it fixed and rehabilitated. If you have appendicitis, $13,000 is what you'd pay out of pocket to have your appendicitis taken care of. That doesn't include prescriptions that you pay full price for. And considering that diabetic medication has tripled and sometimes 4 times quadrupled, because it went from a tier 1 to a tier 3 prescription. So it used to be a $20. Some of people are now paying $250.
And you know what's weird? I mean, this, I don't know if any of the people have pets that have got diabetes. You can give your animal human insulin.
Mhm.
And you're paying.
Yep. Yep, for pets it went up too. All right, so that's what happened on this one, okay? All right, now, we're gonna go to 15.3. Okay, so what I want you to do while you're on the 8962, I want you to take out those numbers from the 1095A that you put in, okay? All right. Okay, because everything's the same. And we're going to go back to our ACA worksheet. And in this case, the entire family did not have health care for the whole year from the New York State of Health. Both children are covered under New York State Child Health Plus. So there's our answer, okay? The family stopped paying on the insurance for the last 2 months of the year. They decided they couldn't afford it anymore. So, what are we going to do? Let's start with our ACA worksheet. They're in the marketplace, so what's our first question? Yes, because they have 1095A that's on page 203. All right. What about the second question? Why not?
Because it says right there, did taxpayer sponsor dependents have an exemption? It says no.
Where do you see that?
But in the book, in 201, it says, did taxpayer spouse and dependents have an exemption from minimum essential coverage all year?
Well, they didn't bring one to the table, but
Probably two.
Maybe we can.
what one could we give them?
Apply for that 3 month.
3 months, right? So they don't have a hardship exemption per se, but we know that if it's less than 3 months, we can exempt them from the penalty. So we're going to check yes, okay? That being said, on our ACA worksheet, all of them are going to still be checked with the first box. Why? Because they had insurance and I have the exemption, so I have all 12 months accounted for, all right? And then we know the kids are on a Child Health Plus plan and they were accounted for, all right? So I'm going to go to my 8962. All right, things are pretty much the same, but what about the question 10? Do I have where I can put in the totals? No, I don't, do I? Okay, so I'm going to check box 2 where it says continue to lines 12 through 23. Why is that going to happen? Because if you look at my 1095A on page 203, what do I have? I got 2 months missing. So I can't use the 12-month total. So lucky you. First column's going to be what? And no, there is no copy and paste in the TaxWise program. It's a little bit archaic. So 703 is in the first column. 590.03 is in the second. And 280 in the third, okay? So you just got to go through and put those all in. Until through October, right? Because they didn't have it the last 2 months. Okay. No, it doesn't copy and paste in between. I know.
No, we didn't get
No, my
rid of the stuff we
totals
gave
from
them.
line 11,
Before
you take them out.
Yeah, take out line 11. That's what I said there at the start there. No, that's why when we started there, I said you got to delete those. So make sure those are out of there. Okay. Okay. All right. And what happens? They still owe a little bit back, don't they? But far less. All right. Now, remember I said about the dependents on there? We're going to say that the two kids working at Tim Hortons made $10,000. What just happened? What happened to the blue box up there? They just went back up as if they'd kind of wipes everything out, doesn't it? All right. Okay. So you can take that out of there. So you should have, after you put in the problem, you should have a balance due of 407 and a state refund of 636. Can you see how this isn't affecting the state at all? Okay. All right. Now, 8965. Are we going to put them in for a marketplace form? No. Okay. We got a question in part 2 that says, you take a look, their filing threshold was $20,600. Their income on the ACA worksheet was $58,145. Do they qualify for the hardship exemption because they're filing threshold? No, because they're not below it. So part 3 is where we're going to get our exemption. So we're just going to put Michael and Lori in there. And it doesn't fill in the Social Security number for you. I'm sorry. Okay. And what was that short-term exemption? Anybody remember? B. Yep, a B. And then what do? Check November and December, so they do not have any penalty. Okay. And I will put Lori Gray in there. Same thing, she's going to be a B, and check those months for November and December. Okay? So I have the exemption for them, so they have no penalty. Even though they did not bring one to the table for hardship or whatever, I can still find them one. All right?
You don't put the kids?
Nope, they were covered all year by Child Health Plus. All right. Any questions on those? Now, I'm going to do a little scenario for you here. Say that this family decided they did not want the premium tax credit during the year. Okay? They were just going to roll the dice and pay for it. That's why they couldn't afford it. When I did that, what happens? Their refund went to $2,393. Okay? They got $2,100. Why didn't they get all $2,800 that was calculated? Because why? Remember, we determined that they got $700 too much if they did the $280 a month. So the $2,800 minus $700, $2,100. So $2,100 was added to their refund. So you can see some people, you know what? I'll just take the money at the end of the year. And trust me, the IRS doesn't understand this. I have 2 or 3 that I'm fighting right now because somebody chose not to take the credit during the year and wait till the end of the year. The IRS just can't grasp that. Why wouldn't you want it each month? So they're holding on to the refund portion of this. It's like, no, he did not want the credit. But he was due this much a month. But on his 1095-A, it shows he took none. But he's eligible for this each month. Why is it not on the return? Because he didn't want it. Just, you know, you keep going back and forth, okay? All right. Any questions on those? And obviously, there's probably a ton of other scenarios that, but it just kind of, those are progression to see how all the things that you'd have to enter. Like I said, ACA worksheet, obviously, you're going to complete, and you have to determine what months they were or were not covered on the ACA worksheet. Do the dependents have income? If they're in the marketplace, you have to use their 1095-A to complete the 8962. And if they have months that they did not have insurance, do they qualify for an exemption on the 8965? Those are basically your steps.
Where's that question of whether they want to take it at the end of the year or not?
That's done during the application.
Oh.
Yeah, that's done in the marketplace for the applications, not on the tax return. Their 1095-A would reflect it because there'd be no numbers in each of those, like I have it on here.
Yeah.
So if you take that 1095-A on page 203, C would be all zeros. Because they just didn't take it each month. They just decided they'd take it on the tax return. But again, the IRS doesn't understand this. Okay? So those are the problems that you'd see with the healthcare. Okay?